What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Blue Line Unfiltered, where we have no filter and we say how it is. Like always, thank you to our sponsor, Code 4 Pomade, for always taking care of us and making us look good. Today we have a special guest here, Nick. Introduce yourself.
My name's Nick Delia. I'm a retired firefighter paramedic. I served for like 32 years total. A couple different departments. We can talk about that and how I got started in the fire service and anything else you want to talk about.
Yeah. All right. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for being here, Nick.
Yeah. Neighbors.
Yeah. Neighbors. That's how we met.
Yeah. So
Nick, first of all, how are you doing? How's this year treating you?
I'm doing great. Retired life is great. I've been retired about a year and a half.
Nice.
So I'm pretty busy though. Pretty busy guy. So just I'm always moving. So yeah, it's been great.
That's good.
It's been great.
Yeah, I can't wait till I retire.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a lot of hard work, but I look back and it's gone like that.
Yeah, it goes quick, huh?
It goes quick.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, where you from? Where'd you grow up?
Okay. So I grew up in Covina.
Okay.
We went to high school, Northview High School, Mount Sac. Really didn't know what I wanted to do, and I had a training partner at the gym, Astro Gym in Covina. I don't think it's still there, but he was a LAFD firefighter.
Nice.
So I would see him occasionally in the gym, and then he was like a spot partner, then became a friend, and then kind of more or less like a mentor.
Yeah.
For me, and kind of put me on the right path to become a fireman.
Nice.
So, I think it kind of all really changed for me. There was an incident across the street from my house where a neighbor wasn't seen for a few days, and unfortunately, she ended up like killing herself. And we found her, a friend of mine up the street. So we kind of walked in. We didn't really know what to do, and just kind of felt like helpless in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't much we could do anyways, but fire department got there, and so kind of saw them working as a team like firsthand, and it kind of really inspired me. So then that's kind of when the ball started rolling.
That's when you were like, okay.
Yeah, I kind of got the bug, and then I talked to my friend, my gym partner Ed, and he kind of got me going on the right track with some classes at Mount Sac, and then getting on as a volunteer with La Habra Heights Volunteer Fire Department. So that was where there's still volunteers there, and you work 1 day a week.
Yeah.
And I did that for a few years, but that kind of got my feet wet. Not busy. We trained a lot. Maybe ran one call every once in a while, but yeah. So during that time, I was able to go to the fire academy at Mount Sac, and then EMT at Mount Sac. Work on an ambulance for a little bit in Arcadia.
Yeah.
For it was called Arcmon Ambulance, Arcadia Monrovia Ambulance. They're no longer. And did my 6 months there, working 2 jobs, testing all over the state, even as far north as like Seattle.
Yeah.
So
and I think that's one of the probably one of the most stressful times when you're trying to get onto a department.
Yeah, I think
you're applying and applying and applying.
You're a professional test taker.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, there were so many different written tests and interviews, and I still have my notebook that has probably 30 to 40 different applications.
Yeah.
Before I got hired. And then when you get hired, it's like it all happens at once. Like I remember the week that I got hired, my first fire job was in Encinitas, and I had 3 interviews that week.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So I was working this crazy ambulance shift as a paramedic here for Caroline, which is now AMR in the local Rancho area. and it was just super busy. I was the only you had an ambulance, and then with one paramedic and an EMT.
Yeah.
And then at the time, this was 30 years ago, like Rancho Fire, they didn't have paramedics. Fontana County Fire, they didn't have paramedics. The only departments that had paramedics were like Ontario and Chino.
Yeah.
So Montclair, we would cover, they didn't have paramedics. So when the ambulance showed up, you were the only paramedic.
Yeah.
So
for a lot of cities.
For a lot of cities, a pretty big geographical area here in San Bernardino County. So a lot of experience really fast because I trained in LA with LA City Fire in North Hollywood, and that was a crazy experience as well. But it kind of set me up for being a paramedic out here, being a single function paramedic with no paramedic partner, and it's just, I mean, it was like cowboys and Indians. I hate to use that kind of analogy, but back in the mid 90s, it was there was not much here.
Yeah.
You know, this area was growing. I mean, all the great places that we have now, you know, and all the fire departments that have medics. I mean, you were the only paramedic. We were flying people out. We were going on shootings, stabbings, crazy medical aids, and you're the only paramedic.
Yeah.
You know, with some trained EMT firefighters, and then your EMT partner, which was like an EMT plus, basically, because they're having to set stuff up for you.
Yeah.
You know,
doing everything that they
can. So working those crazy 12-hour shifts for 5 days a week sometimes, and then testing, you know, having a family. So it was a lot of hard work.
It's a lot of hard work. One time, huh?
I mean,
would you think, obviously eventually it paid off, but do you think it also set you up for success, you know, and having all that experience that you accumulated?
I definitely think so, for sure. Definitely having the experience, and then it allowed me to be a much like well-rounded, I guess, candidate in a way for jobs. I don't really want to bash on like the way things are now, but working in the fire service for 30 years and seeing some of the paramedics come up through the ranks, like it's gotten, I mean, you still have to jump through the hoops to be a paramedic, but I've seen the generations and they've lost, I mean, some of that work ethic and some of the hands-on like things that I was taught as a paramedic to get down and communicate with people.
Yeah.
You know, as a first responder, when you go into their home, it's pretty crazy. So just kind of keep going. So yeah, when I got hired, I had like 3 interviews that same week. It was crazy. I had like a Long Beach interview, I had an interview in Encinitas, and I had another one some other place. I think it was Monterey Park or something like that. So, and everybody kind of called at once, like
how it always happens. You can never get hired nowhere, and then when you're gonna get hired, everybody wants you.
So I was hired at Encinitas. We were going through our little 2-week mini academy, and I got a phone call from Rancho, a call back from Rancho Fire, and I got a call back from Carlsbad Fire. So it was like still, and I'm just like, well, what do I do? So I stuck it out there for a little over a year, and it was just a crazy drive. I was driving like 140 miles one way to work, and being on probation, it sucked.
Oh yeah. and I can totally relate with you. I don't know if you knew when I originally got hired here, out here in LA. I had no plan. I didn't think I was gonna get hired. And bro, I was driving from San Diego to LA every day.
Oh man.
I mean, I was lucky enough that my cousin let me stay there when I was going through the academy, which is one of the hardest times.
Yeah, one of the hardest
after graduating and going out to my assignment, he's like, hey, dude, you gotta move out. And I was driving every day from San Diego to here, and you know how these shifts get, and all the crazy stuff that happens, and still having to drive back and no sleep and having to drive back to work, and so I feel you. I understand.
Yeah, it was hard. So I moved to a closer department, Adelanto, up in the high desert for a short time till we were taken over by San Bernardino County Fire back in the early 2000 or 99, I think it was. So, and county at the time was growing. They were going through a transition phase, and I was still testing other places because I wasn't just going to be at a little 2-station department. So we were at, I was working on the ambulance for County Fire up in the high desert. And I happened to be down at Arrowhead, and I saw one of my La Habra Heights buddies, and he's like, "Yeah, come test with us. You know, it's great." Blah 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 blah. So still testing all over. Tested with Rialto. Got a call. Got hired. Left county, and then that's where I did nearly 25 years in Rialto.
Nice.
So, which is crazy because I mean Rialto's right between Fontana and San Bernardino, and Rialto's busy.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing, or you also have, mutual aid. I'm guessing you're either going, you're working Rialto, but you're probably going, to the neighboring cities all the time.
Yeah, for sure. There's
or...
some unincorporated areas that were, Rialto and then County Fire and then stuff like that. Or we'd run mutual aid with San Bernardino City and, or, San Bernardino County, Fontana. I mean, so we were busy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot. I already came in with quite a bit of experience, but those first couple of years where I worked at the downtown station, I mean, it was crazy. It was like dog years if you really think about it. I mean, there were so many sleepless nights and so many. I mean, just the amount of calls. I mean, we would go on fewer calls if you were on the ambulance, but I remember on the engine one day we probably turned like 36 calls.
Yeah,
easily. Yeah. I mean, in the summer it was just crazy, and then people say, well, "What do you see? What do you?" I mean, I've seen everything.
Yeah,
I mean, nothing surprises me.
Then that's one of the the question that I think. And more of like from like a mental health perspective, you could say.
Sure.
That's the question that everybody asks all the time. Any first responder. Hey, the first question, even if you just met them, well, what's the worst thing you've ever seen?
Yeah, what's the worst thing you've ever
that's seen? Like the number one question that everybody gets, and
I think the best way that I've always tried to answer that is like people don't live like you think like you live as a family with your brothers, your sisters, your mom, your dad, whoever you live with, your grandma, your wife, your kids. I mean, you go in these apartments, you go in these houses. I mean, people, it's sad, but I mean, they live in squalor. They live with, a couple generations of family members in a house, or they might live in a 2-bedroom apartment with 10 people.
Yep.
And I just remember being on medical age, and you're just stepping over people that are just sleeping.
Yeah.
Like kids.
I can't even get the gurney.
I can't even get the gurney, or and it's
or hoarders.
It's crazy. I mean, people just they don't live like we do, and people are up at all hours of the night. It doesn't matter. Like you think, like, oh yeah, I'm going to bed at 10, and I mean, little kids be up watching TV. I mean, midnight, 2 in.the morning. Playing their video games, or just crazy the way people take care of themselves.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned that, it brought me a little flashback of a call that I went to where we would go into the house, and it's a little apartment, but it's like infested with roaches.
Oh yeah.
Like the walls were white, but every wall was brown in that house. And you got little kids eating there. And it's something bizarre. Something that obviously like. Us as parents, that's not, my kid will not be eating at a table with his friends' roaches that are eating with him,
Or just crazy pack rat conditions. I mean, pack rat conditions to where, I mean, it's so hard to describe, like, I mean, just little narrow paths down a hallway in somebody's house that you have to, like, bring your gear in, or you got to carry them out.
Yeah.
Moving furniture, moving boxes, moving bags of laundry, moving anything and everything. I mean, you name it. We had this one crazy call, and I remember one of the older Rialto guys were telling me about this structure fire that they had been on with this. He worked at NASA. He worked at JPL.
Oh, okay.
And it was it was right below where the 210 is now, and this guy was, you know, some kind of scientist or whatever. But they had a fire in one of the bedrooms in his house. He lived by himself, and they walked in, and the floor was covered with beer cans, probably a couple feet high,
Wow.
like throughout the whole house.
Yeah.
You know, so they knocked the fire down, no big deal. And then, I mean, probably, I'm just gonna guess, like probably 15 years later, we go back on a fire at this guy's house. And I remember the story, and I remember walking in the house. I'm all, holy crap! I'm all, this is the guy that this chief had told me about. They went on this fire. You know, it was like a little garage fire, but I mean, I kid you not, like
This
3
beer
feet,
can guy.
I mean,
Yeah.
beer can. Just imagine your whole house covered in beer cans. The floor, you can't even see the floor. You're stepping on beer cans, Bud Light or Budweiser cans. And then we found the room where he had the old fire. He just closed the door.
Oh, so no damage is still there.
The
It's still
damage was still
burned.
there
Nothing.
from like 15 whatever years ago, and he had like a small garage fire. But I mean, you literally would open the door, it'd be like a cartoon. All the beer cans would just fall out of the house, you know. But I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, crazy. I mean, I've seen so many crazy things, but I mean, that, yeah, that's definitely one of them.
And I think it's also like, can I say, like, seeing so many crazy things, and like you said earlier, like, dude, I've seen it all. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
yeah, I'm pretty sure
And
I've
if
seen
I
it
haven't, you
all.
give me a specific scenario, I got something pretty close to it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just it never stops, and like you said, it's also that coming from that busy station, being at, you're not at a station where you're running a call a day or a call
Yeah,
every couple of days. Now you're at a station where you're running one, two, three calls an hour.
yeah,
Or it's just
easily.
you're just packing and going all
I
day.
think when I was working the ambulance in Rialto, I think, well, I was at Station 2, right there. It's at 210 in Riverside, and San Bernardino Community was the closest hospital. I think
Yeah.
we started at 7. I remember we turned 7 transports before noon.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
Yeah.
pretty close, but I mean, 7 transports. I'm sorry, 6 transports between 7 and noon before 5 hours. I mean, we're busy,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, not so much back 30 years ago, but I mean, the bed delay thing is like huge now. You know,
Yeah.
people just using the ambulance for
All right.
a ride, and it sucks, you know. But yeah, definitely dog years. I mean, our fair share of crazy traffic accidents. I mean, trauma, shootings, stabbings. I mean, we had the Winchesters and the Glenwoods and Rialto. I mean, heavily gang infested areas. We had crazy nightclubs with huge crowds, people coming from all over the place to go to these nightclubs, and you know, someone would get shot or stabbed, and you know, fires. I mean, crazy, crazy fires. I mean, you name it. I mean, it we had a saying. It was kind of funny. Rialto's captain, he was my captain for a couple of years. We called it, or he said, not only in America, but especially in Rialto.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
And well, Rialto, I'm guessing it's very diverse as far as.
yeah. I mean, there's
and,
your older part, kind of in the central kind of town, and then you have a lot of industrial area south of the 10. Not too many residences down there, and then the north end was newer homes.
Yeah.
You know, and then now, I mean, it's all built up with shopping. There's a shopping center at the 210 and like Ayala now, and they're still building a lot of home, but there's a lot of tilt ups and distribution. But still, I mean, got the 10 and the 210 freeway. I mean, those are crazy calls.
Yeah.
Crazy calls.
Oh yeah, they're busy all
those
day,
freeways
all
are,
night.
yeah.
Rush hour or
Uh-huh.
at night. I mean, I've been on the 10 and the 210. Coming home, midnight.
Yeah,
1 2 in the morning after work, and there's people racing. Just they're busy freeways, so you can
yeah,
only
they're
imagine.
busy. I mean, it's just the freeway never stops, and that was always for me. Like, I just, I wouldn't say I was scared of being on the freeway, but I didn't like being on the freeway.
Yeah, an uncomfortable
Yeah,
feelings.
so
Right?
never for me any close calls on the freeway, but our department did have a couple vehicles hit while they were on the freeway,
Yeah.
and just we implemented have a blocker engine, just because, yeah, back when we started, like CHP hated shutting down the freeway, but now they're
Yeah. I mean, they still do, but
they
it's a
hate
little
it,
better.
but
Yeah.
I mean they will now for our safety, you know, for the fire, for, you know, and
And for
then
theirs, because they get hit
yeah,
all the time.
yeah,
You know, they I've seen it. You know, where they get
yeah,
rear-ended at night,
yeah,
and even though the lights are bright, you know, people
yeah.
don't pay attention. People
No,
are always on their
people don't
phone.
pay
I mean,
attention.
right? I've been at lights next to people on their phone
Oh
from
yeah.
the moment the light's red to it turns green. I'm just there staring at them, and they don't even know that I'm next to them because they're just looking down
Yeah.
at their phone. You know, and that's another
Yeah,
crazy thing. You know,
the phone is a huge distraction. I mean, I'm kind of guilty of it too. I mean, I'll admit, you know, it's a huge distraction while driving. And I think it's gotten worse.
oh,
You know,
it's always
I mean, it's not enforced. I mean, you kind of, yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean, I did my time there. A lot of training, a lot as part of the training cadre. I did
because you
some.
guys are always training,
We're
right?
always training,
Yeah.
but we were always training a couple hours a day, whether it was, you know, classroom ish or training ground, you know, and you know, I did a lot with rope rescue and technical rescue programs there, and then a lot of auto extrication as part of the state fire marshal curriculum rewrite
Yeah.
for the auto X cadre. I got to go. That was pretty cool. I got to go to Sacramento for like a week.
Oh, nice.
They paid for like everything, and got to hang out with a bunch of firemen and rewrite the curriculum for auto extrication.
Nice.
I was also a fireline paramedic, so for the wildfires,
Oh, yeah.
kind of over the last, I mean, maybe, I guess, well, maybe 10, 15 years, they've added, first it was like you had to be like an EMT. They would have EMTs on these fires for,
Yeah.
you know, just to take care of like the firemen, for, you know, cut scrapes, poison oak, you know, medical things that would pop up. And then when they added paramedics, and so I was one of the first, well, I was one of like two or three people in Rialto, but the first in Rialto to go out on some of these large wildland fires. So
Yeah.
I was up in, there were several summers where I was up in Northern California for like 3 or 4 weeks at a time,
Wow.
and just gone.
Yeah.
I mean, not like fires. I mean, we had these crazy fires this beginning part of the year, but it's a whole nother environment up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely different. So it's a whole nother level. So yeah, some great experience going up there on these crazy big campaign fires up there, and yeah,
And it's dangerous. I mean, people, you know, people don't realize that these wildfires are dangerous. Even if
mm,
you're not, you know, maybe you're not actively fighting the fires, but you know, it's still a very dangerous spot. I don't know if you
yeah,
heard yesterday there was a rollover
yeah.
at
So
the fire.
it's funny. I saw that, and one of the biggest causes of fire fatalities on wildland fires is vehicle accidents,
Yeah.
because you get firemen that work in the city, and then they drive these big fire trucks up on these little narrow roads, and
Yeah.
they don't know how to they don't have the experience navigating the road, or the road conditions suck. So yeah, I was part of on a fire up there. I was a paramedic assigned to the REM team, and REM teams, or rapid extrication module
Yeah.
teams. So they're equipped with a lot of rope rescue gear, extrication gear, so they can go over the side and get these
People.
firemen
Yeah.
that crash. And so we would do a lot of training with them up there. So I have a lot of experience doing that. So since I've retired, I'm retired, but I'm a volunteer for the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department search
Yeah.
and rescue
Search and
team
rescue team. Nice.
here locally in Mount Baldy. So, you know, we train like 4, 5, 6 days a month, depends.
Yeah.
And I still get to utilize some of my skills that
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of cool. You know, you bring some good experience with you. You know, for some
yeah.
because I know. I mean, I'm pretty sure the team varies from people with
Oh yeah.
minimum experience that just joined that want to be part of the team to guys that are
Yeah, so
veterans like you that have been doing it for a while and have good
you don't.
experience?
I mean, to join, honestly, you don't need any experience,
Yeah,
and the we'll train you to the level to where you can go out and rescue people,
yeah,
which is pretty cool. Because I
yeah,
mean, there's a handful of people that I mean that work. I mean, just your basic job.
yeah,
No physical labor, and they like the outdoors, so they're coming out and helping. And um, we have one retired firefighter. He's the one that actually started the team, and then we have a couple other retired guys. But for other than that, I mean,
yeah,
it's you get called out, and you might get 4 people, or you might get 10.
yeah.
You know, and we go out. I mean, we've probably been out like 6 or 8 times this year so far.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So
accidents happen. Freak
yeah,
accident. You know
yeah,
better than a lot of people.
yeah,
Freak accidents
yeah.
happen.
Nothing surprising.
Yeah.
Like people are gonna do stupid things.
Yeah. For
I
sure.
mean, it happens.
For
And
sure.
I mean, fortunately, like with our training and experience, we're called upon to help mitigate the best we can with the tools that we have those stupid things that people do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works out that we help them, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. For sure.
And I think like it just it's really the roll of the dice. I
Yeah, you get
mean,
what you get, huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
you
You
get what
just
you
never.
get.
And I'm pretty sure, like I said, I speak from a law enforcement experience. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing happens to you guys. You get a call somewhere, or you get a
Yeah,
description of the call to, hey, you're going to this,
yeah,
and that's they tell you don't ever expect the call to be what the call says.
right,
And you get there, it's
right.
180, completely
Yeah,
different from what you were expecting.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
But I did want to go back to something you said earlier,
Hmm.
as far as like the standards,
Hmm.
and you were like, oh, I don't want to say too much, but no, we're pretty unfiltered here. But I'll speak, from my personal level,
Right.
like, I know for a lot of law enforcement departments across the state have dropped their standards very
Oh yeah.
significantly because we don't have people.
Right.
They're hurting for
Right.
people that want to join, law enforcement agencies
Yeah.
nowadays because it's nobody wants to do it, and they I mean the standards have gone down a lot, and they're very noticeable. You can tell.
Yeah. I think um just speaking from I mean taking tests and waiting it out, so to speak. I started working, I knew I wanted to be a firefighter paramedic. So I started working on the ambulance. Paramedic school, classes, training, trying to keep myself in shape. Well, which was crazy doing all that. And
And
then
I think that's the
testing.
hardest part. That's one of the
Yeah.
hardest part is staying in shape while you're doing everything else.
Right.
Because a lot of people have that excuse. Me being one of them. Like, oh, dude, I don't have time. I work
Yeah.
crazy hours. I come home. I'm tired. Like, but it's important.
Yeah. And I think it's just people's work ethic. Now I want to say it's easier to get a job in probably the fire service or law enforcement compared to 30 years, 30 years ago when I was doing it, waiting it out, traveling, working crazy hours, trading shifts so you can go take a test or, you know, um, and putting in that hard work. And I think these younger generations have kind of missed the boat on that part of it. And I think a lot of it too is coming in, bringing something in to the job. Like you can't just have an 18-year-old kid that has no work experience and they want to be a cop or they want to be a fireman, um, just just because their friend did it or their dad or their brother or somebody did it.
Yeah, because
They
they're in
need
the
to have
department.
some. They
Yeah,
need to have some life experiences. They need to work, 2 jobs or a full-time job and go to school and try and juggle all these things or have a skill like a construction skill or a background. There's so many times. I was fortunate enough to be raised with that type of background,
yeah,
not only hard work, but having somebody that taught me all those things,
yeah,
about mechanical stuff, working on cars, building things, in a wood shop or those type, because you need those kind of
Yeah.
skills, or being doing electrical or sprinklers or gardening, just something,
It's
because
just something that keeps your mind going, something that a little bit of problem solving, you could
right,
say. Yeah.
definitely problem
Yeah.
solving. So yeah, it seems like this generation, these younger generations, they don't have the problem solving capabilities, which is huge in both the fire service and law enforcement.
Yeah.
You got to be able to solve people's problems.
Yeah.
They're going to come with you with the craziest thing you ever heard, and they're calling 911 for help because
Yeah.
they don't know, right?
Yeah.
And you show up with you and your partner, or by yourself, or we show up in the fire truck or the ambulance, and they want their problem solved,
Yeah. They're gonna go
and
right to you and
yeah,
expect their
and
problem to be
expect their
solved. Yeah.
problem to be solved. I mean, it's 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 kind of one of those things, like the fire department. We never said no.
Yeah.
Somebody called, we never said no. It's not like,
Yeah.
hey, we're not coming.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah.
I mean, same with you guys too.
Yeah.
I mean, you go. I mean, you go and solve problems. So I think the younger generation, and I think a lot of the schools and some of the, I mean, just to try and get people, it's like they're catering to, like, oh, well, you didn't pass your paramedic internship in 20 shifts, so go another 10 shifts with somebody else from a different department.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then see if you pass. But I
Well,
mean, that's
I think what happens now a lot is and that's a really good point, is like, hey, well, you know what? It must have been your preceptor. It must have
right.
been
Yeah.
your TO.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, they must not like you, or
Mhm.
is they don't want you to be successful. But the reality is, well, you might have just not cut it.
Right.
And that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of times where I ran into things, or I know people that you just didn't cut it that one time. Doesn't mean that you
Right.
suck or you're not good. It's
No.
just you didn't make it that one time. Hey, work a little harder. Keep
Yeah.
trying. You eventually will get it. You just didn't get it right now this second.
Right.
And in situations or jobs like ours where it's it's you have less than a second to make decisions. Do I really want to cut you and be like, hey Nick, you know what?
Yeah.
It's all right, man.
Yeah.
We'll try
I
again
mean,
tomorrow.
there's like certain things you do on the job training, like certain things, like, yeah, with people. But then there's like some things, like I remember some of the newer people, like you let them kind of do it till they fail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how you learn.
Yeah.
But now, like, people think of failing as like, I mean, you're gonna give them another bone,
Yeah.
and let them pass just because they're failing one place and they shouldn't be on the street. Maybe they need to go back for more training.
Yeah, and that's okay. But I think that's where it doesn't connect.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, whoever's in charge nowadays, or
yeah,
and that you go back to the whole hiring thing. I remember even 10 years ago. There was one spot, maybe two,
yeah.
and there's 20, 30 guys.
Oh yeah, I mean, we'd
You know.
sleep out the night before for us. The other thing, we'd sleep overnight in the park for applications. I mean, or they'd hand out 100 applications. You'd get there as soon as you got off work, and I mean, I remember driving down to San Diego and sleeping in my truck till 8 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
so I can go get an application.
You
I mean,
to
I
do
had a
what you had to
typewriter.
do. Yeah.
I mean, this is before the internet. I mean, I had a typewriter I'd go plug in at a library, or if there was a Starbucks, because back then there was very few Starbucks, and I mean, it wasn't like a laptop at Starbucks; it was a typewriter at Starbucks.
Yeah, and like I said, I remember that, and luckily, when I grew up or I had a lot of good people in my life, most of them fire guys.
Yeah.
That kind of molded me and guided me before I went the law enforcement route. But that's what they would always tell me, like, because like I said, it was different back then.
Yeah.
Okay, dude, what's gonna make you better than the next qualified guy next to you?
Yeah.
Because you guys might have the same schooling, the same everything, but what's gonna make you stand out, instead of the other guy?
Yeah.
Or what are they gonna see in you that they're gonna want instead of the other guy?
And then too, in sitting in these interview panels where you're interviewing, people that want to come work for you, and having the opportunity to see all the different types of people that come in to interviews.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
You see the people that are prepared. You see the people that are, trying to half-ass it, bullshit you, and then you see the people that are just totally unprepared, and it's like, I mean, hey, we put on our pants the same way you put on your pants. I mean, you want to come work for us, you better, impress us
Yeah.
to the point where you know a little bit about what the job entails, a little bit about, the city, and bring some life experiences. Because, like, if people didn't have life experiences, I mean, they were going to get marked down.
Yeah.
Sure. They were going to, if they just answer, I mean, the same answer over and over. I mean, no, you're not.
Yeah, you're not ready.
You're not ready.
And that's another thing too. I know, I've never myself been in a panel interview like that.
Yeah.
I mean, other than when I was applying, but
yeah,
I know one of the things they ask is, how have you faced,
right,
something that maybe didn't go your way, or,
right,
or have you somebody told you something? How did you deal with the criticism? And
right,
a lot of people that don't have life experience, they
right.
don't. They're like, oh, they were mean to me, like.
And I think because it's such a it's not really broadcast as a customer service based business, but it is. It's 100% customer service. It's all the way that you present yourself in your however you look, what you show up in, how you present yourself when you walk in to somebody's house, to be respectful, to your skills and abilities to handle that situation.
Yeah.
So if you don't come in like looking sharp, being respectful, being polite, getting the answers. I mean, because there's all kinds of times. I mean, we're tired, we get frustrated. I mean, we go on those calls, you haven't slept.
You've been up
I
all
mean,
night.
but I mean, for me, I was always shirt tucked in, boots zipped up, like hat on straight. I mean, or the Class B uniform. Like we'd have guys that their boots would be unzipped and their shirt would be untucked, and I'd be like, God dang, man, that just pisses me off.
Yeah.
But um, I mean that impression of the public, and especially nowadays, I mean, it's gotten so much worse with people and their phones. I mean, you've probably seen it more. I mean, you go in somebody's house and they're filming you, like,
already.
They're taking care of my grandma, and we're filming you.
Yeah.
Like, wait, or yeah, it's just crazy the way social media is. But going back to just being prepared. I mean, yeah, I mean, you got to be prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, you're driving equipment that's millions of dollars. You have people's lives in your hands.
Yeah.
I mean,
for sure.
You're on the road. You just got to be prepared. And it's not an easy job.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I
It's
think
not
it's
easy.
very mentally demanding, physically
Oh
demanding.
yeah, physically and mentally demanding.
And that's, I think that's one of the things that we're seeing a lot nowadays is, like, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be a cop. Like, it should be given to me. Like, hey, they should give me the job because they're looking for people. Like,
Yeah.
not like I said, not like before, where it's
No.
like, hey, there's a bunch of dudes for one spot, or girls, for one spot. Like, now it's and that's where you could see that the standards are going down. That now there's 20 people applying and 1,000 vacancies.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, it's crazy. And I think one of the important things, I think, within any organization is having that good leadership model.
Yeah.
Like I always said, to the new guys, it's like, if you're gonna, or even when we'd have these training cadre meetings, like my big thing was the generation before us, like they'd sit and watch us train, from afar. Like they'd sit on the sidelines, like, oh, let's let the new guys go pull the hose, throw the ladders, wear their turnouts, put on the BA and that thing. And they'd be standing off, having a cigarette, or jaw jacking with their buddy, or just wearing like a brush coat. But when we changed our department, the training cadre, and implemented some of these training policies, it was like, if you're gonna be the example, then you're gonna look like the example.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're gonna you're going to train with your turnouts and you're going to train with your BA. So that was for like the last half of my career that I was there. That's when things really started to change for us.
Yeah.
Compared to what I kind of grew up in out there. Each fire department is different because I worked at a few of them. So, but we were fortunate enough to do that, which I think is, which has kind of put Rialto in a better place.
Yeah.
When I was there.
And that I think that it's needed, but it also takes guys to take the initiative and get together
Right.
and be like, hey, this is what we. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your house,
Right.
and how do you want your house to
How do
be?
you want
How do you
yeah.
want it to run? What
Yeah.
is it that you want, to do with it, and just take it and go.
Yeah.
But that's that's that that's good, man. I'm happy that worked out for you and you had that going
Yeah.
for you when you were there, and that's a that's something good to have under your belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you
Yeah,
had a
for
lot of things
sure.
under your belt.
Yeah.
You
A lot
know.
of good experiences and yeah, a lot of things, I mean, I'll never forget. Um yeah, I mean, so many things, but like I said, being retired, it seems like, I mean, it's only been a year and a half, which is a short amount of time, but when you're in the thick of it, when you're there for 4 or 5 days and you get to come home for one day, it's like now all that um angst or pressure of like being home for one day and trying to get everything done, that's all gone.
Yeah, and that's the worst. That's like, hey, I have one day to get
Or
everything
one
done, and
day
I'm
to get
gonna be gone
everything done.
again till the next week.
Right. Or
You know.
something would always happen at home when I was at work. The AC will go out.
Yeah.
My car blew a tire on the freeway. Well, I'm at work. I
Yeah.
mean, there's always something
Yeah.
happens.
It
I
never
mean,
stops.
problem solving at work, you're problem solving at home. I mean, it's just that's the nature of being
And
a
you're problem
firefighter.
solving at home from work.
Yeah, at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, at home from work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
fortunately, for me living here, I was able to stay pretty local, and I rode my bike to work for probably half the time I was in Rialto from
Nice.
here. So um, that
Well,
helped me like stay in shape, helped
yeah.
me mentally, um, physically. So I was pretty fortunate enough. I mean, I didn't have too long of a commute. It was about a little over hour ish, depending on which way I went. It was just
Yeah.
early mornings, and
Yeah.
but I enjoyed
What kind
it.
of how many miles is that?
It's about 16 miles the way I would go.
Yeah.
So it was about an hour ish,
Yeah.
depends on the wind.
It's a pretty
Because
good ride though.
yeah, it's a good ride. So we'd start at 7. So if I had one day off, I get home maybe 8:39, be home, catch up on some stuff, and say I had to go back right away. Like if I was there for 3 or 4 days and I had to go back for 2 or 1, or I mean, I'd be up at 4:30 the next day. I'd leave the house by 5:15. We start at 7, get to work, shower, workout. I mean,
Already pumped from your
yeah,
ride. Yeah.
ready ready to go. And
Yeah.
then there were those days where like, man, I'd be like, hey, can I get a ride from somebody? Because I'd be just
Yeah.
too tired to ride my
Yeah.
bike home. But it was a good way mentally and physically to like just leave work at work
Yeah.
for me. I mean, that's the way I did it. I mean, everybody's different, but it wasn't. I mean, there's always those calls that stick with you. I mean, there's a handful of them. But as far as like uh PTSD, mental, I mean, I felt like I was able to manage
And I
all
think
that.
that comes with you being so active. Even
Yeah,
now that you're
I
retired,
think being active and then just having a good home structure and then good support,
Yeah.
good support system in place. So I think that's important. It's
All
important.
right. All right, guys, we're back. We refilled our drinks.
Yep.
Good to
Mm-hmm.
go. So going back to that, like the PTSD, the trauma
Mm-hmm.
that obviously we see a lot of messed up things, and sometimes as I hear you talk and as you say things, like I get little flashbacks in my head
Yeah.
and start thinking, about my own stuff, and even earlier when you were like, oh, there's some calls that you always you're always gonna live with, you know,
Right.
and then it just like hit my head like, damn, I started thinking about all the crazy stuff, you know, that
Yeah.
sometimes I carry, you know, and I'm like, oh shit, you know, it's
Well, I always found it like I always found it weird that like we'd have this crazy call, somebody would die or a few people would die, and then they call in the counseling team, and then that unit or units involved would be out of service for a couple hours, and then be like, well, nothing's gonna happen in the first
yeah,
couple hours,
yeah,
like after the incident.
yeah,
I mean, you can talk about it as a crew,
got a little debrief,
a little
yeah,
debrief, but I don't think you need to have formal, like someone come in and counseling. I mean, I think
5 minutes after the
yeah, I
incident,
mean
yeah.
that's just doesn't seem
But
practical.
it was also not the way that it works. You
Yeah,
know,
it doesn't work
it's
that
you know,
way.
obviously once you're off work, once your
Yeah,
mind's kind of slowing down, then
yeah,
you're thinking like, oh damn, you know, because at the time, you know, and you know how it is when you go to a call, it's all go go go, you
yeah.
know,
It's all
until the
go
call
go go.
is done, and you
Yeah,
don't think about anything else but you know handling your call and handling what you have to
right.
do, and so yeah, it's not gonna hit you until you know,
Yeah, it might. I mean, days later, I mean, weeks, months. I mean, yeah. Everybody's different, and then so I think a lot of it comes down to just like I said, go back to your support. You know, talk about it with your partner, your spouse, your wife, friends. It doesn't even have to be coworkers.
yeah,
I mean, um, but just someone that's a good listener.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And then to have hobbies. I mean, a lot of people are so wrapped up in work and wanting to promote or do these other things or just to impress people. I mean, I've always had a hobby, you
yeah,
know. I mean, my main hobby was obviously riding my bike. So I spent a lot of time riding my bike. I still do, which for me probably saved my life.
yeah.
Realistically,
Yeah, I mean that's a good. I mean that's a. Obviously everybody deals with it differently, but that's a
yeah,
good hobby to have. You know, it keeps your mind sharp.
right. I mean,
It keeps you focused on something else that you know doesn't
there were
have to
so
be.
many like mornings riding in to work that was probably my favorite time of the day, riding into
Yeah,
work because watching the sun come up.
yeah.
I mean, that was to me. I mean,
Feeling the breeze.
feeling
It's
it,
a good time.
yeah, it was just a good listening to music. I mean, it was just a good vibe for me, and thankfully, I was able to do it quite a lot.
Yeah,
And we had a ride share program. I got paid for riding my bike to work, like
yeah.
$60 a month. You know,
Which is cool. You know, you
yeah,
think
which
about it, it's
is
like, hey,
cool.
I'm
It's
getting
like,
paid to do something I'm gonna do
yeah,
anyways.
I'm getting
You know,
paid,
yeah.
but
Gas money for a
yeah,
car I'm
I
not
can get
driving.
some new tires for my bike,
Yeah,
or and then I mean other hobbies. I mean, I liked hiking and being outdoors and stuff like that. So I actually tried to get on the West Valley Search and Rescue team back in 2011, and
yeah,
there was just no way with work I could do it.
yeah.
Because we were working so much, and but once I retired, I was able to do have that ability
You
to
know,
do that.
I don't think I ever told you, but I actually applied for the search and rescue team
Oh,
for
did you
them. Yeah,
really?
but same thing. I just I was talking to them, and you
Yeah,
know they sent me the link for the meetings and
yeah,
everything. But I'm even now like I just don't have the time for it. You know, I
yeah.
just can't
But
take off and leave.
but
You know.
those, so our search and rescue team, um, has been established. I mean, there's Sierra Madre and San Dimas and Altadena and all these other ones in LA where you work. But we work together with all those,
Yeah,
and those guys are great. And I've taken some classes with them, and we've been in some certification programs with them, and top notch. I mean, just it's a different structure from what we do out here in San Bernardino County, but fortunate that I've been able to do that. And one of the other things that I've had a hobby is my woodworking.
yeah,
Building furniture. So it's something I always did with my dad. Was we always did something kind of woodworking, building patios or um, patio furniture way back when, selling it at the swap meet, that kind of stuff. Always trying to make an extra buck. So
yeah.
that's something I do. You know,
And
real.
I've seen your you know your work. It's It's real nice.
Yeah,
real
I'll send
clean.
you the. You could add it to the link, but it's the bench dog.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. I'll add it to the video so you guys could check
check it
his
out.
workout. Said it highly recommended. It's nice. I've seen him work. I've seen them.
Yeah, pretty much everything in my house I built.
Yeah.
Inside cabinets, furniture, chairs. I'm building a dining room table and chairs right now.
And then you do those real nice like charcuterie
Yeah, charcuterie
boards or
cutting boards.
Yeah, I've seen them. They're real.
Yeah, so I think it's just important to guys golf, guys, do lots of things. But yeah, I think just have that outlet, and I think it's just always for me is having one thing I really wanted to point out is something that I would always bring up in the interview question. I'd ask the candidates what is empathy and how are you empathetic?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't have empathy. They don't have those real life experiences, or they may not have gone through a situation where they've had to take care of a sick family member for a length of time, and then, or have a medical condition like I had kidney stones, you know? So I had more empathy for people when we would go on that had kidney stones than I did before.
Yeah,
so I
you're right in the ambulance, you're taking the bumps a little slower, you know?
So I think as you grow in your career, you obviously develop more empathy. But I think as a first responder, whether it's police department, law enforcement, fire department, search and rescue, just have empathy for people. I mean, I think it's really important because you're at a standard that's above and you're going to help somebody that doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think a lot of times there's kind of like that stigma or stereotype, or, oh, here come the firemen, oh, here come the cops, or, which is intimidating for people.
Yeah.
But I think like knowing how to communicate with people, talk to people, get down to their level is probably one of the best customer service type of traits that these people can have.
Yeah. And I know, I mean, and I've seen it. Like I said, I'm not in the hospital field anymore or whatever. But when we take people to the hospital or things like that, you could tell. And even in our job, that bedside manner has.
Oh yeah, bedside manner is huge. Yeah, it's changed a lot, but I think but
it's highly important.
Highly important. People are so afraid. Like these new paramedics are so afraid to put their hands on somebody and assess, like in a vehicle accident, be like, "Hey, dude, get down there and palpate that guy, touch him."
Yeah.
That's why you have gloves on. You don't have gloves on so you could hold the tablet and check your boxes.
Yeah.
You gotta get down and take a blood pressure and not just put the automatic cuff on and listen to lung sounds and do all these things that you were trained to do. Those are important.
So you don't lose
things.
them, right?
Yeah, so you don't lose them.
Even for us, I know, and I know for you guys too. They obviously, as time changes and things get more high tech, there's different things that make our job, a lot easier. Yeah. But it also takes away from the originals and the things that you first learn, and like a blood pressure.
Yeah,
you go to these, like when I got injured at work and they sent me to whatever to a doctor. These girls, they're young, and guys like they just connected to a cuff and think and hope for the best, you know. And you tell me, you know how to, can you take a blood pressure with a stethoscope? Oh, I've never done that, or I forgot.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy, but I mean, you gotta have the skills, because what's gonna happen when that doesn't work anymore?
Yeah, exactly.
Or the battery's dead, or
And I know, obviously, that I work with a lot of older guys too, and I was like, oh, it's. I know you guys aren't used to the caveman era, but it's like, but that's what works, and when everything else fails,
that works.
That for me, we there's a time where and it was all over the news and everything. Our CAT system went down.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, yeah, you got to start taking calls on paper.
Yeah.
And dude, I was like, they were speaking for alien to me. They're like, yeah, you got to start taking it on paper. And I'm like, dude, and I'm like, I'm sitting in the car looking at my paper, and luckily I said I work with a lot of older guys, and he's like, and that's crazy too. Like you get these other generations change, and you get these new guys that are new and they're already walking around, chest up high, all cocky, and And it's like, dude, really, like, there's this guy 30, 35 years on that the first one to jump to help you, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, the same thing. I mean, I don't have 35 years on, but I'll be the first one to help you out on something.
Yeah.
You know, if I can help you, and even if I don't know, you know, like, well, whatever, let's figure it out together. You know, until we figure it out.
Yeah, because then you're in that environment where you're going to learn something that's going to help you down the line.
That you don't know that, and that's, I think that's also, you see that a lot now. It's like we come across things. Like I said just the other day, I came across something that I've never done before, and you know, as far as like filing paperwork and stuff, that it was for some stolen bike that we found, and you know, I was like, hey, whatever. Even the sergeant was like, hey, do you want to take it? You want me to give it to somebody else? I was like, hey, dude, I'll take it, just because I've never done it before.
And you'll learn.
And then I call my buddy over, like, hey, dude, you done this before? Like, no, but whatever, let's figure it out. You know, like, because he's a worker, you know, so it's like, cool, whatever. So, dude, we were like on 3 different phones calling the whole county, you know, trying to figure it out, but we eventually figured it out. And yeah, it took us 2-3 hours, but you know what, next time I get it, or next time somebody else gets it, hey, dude, this is what we did, this is how you do it, and we're done, you know. But it's times definitely have changed.
The job, I mean, you shouldn't have to work hard at getting out of work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of people, I mean, yes, I mean, I remember those days, it's a drag to go train or drag to go do this, but I mean, that's what you signed up for.
Yeah, it's your job.
You know, that's your job. It's your livelihood that put a roof over your head. I mean, fortunately, you know, I was able to, we were able to live within our means. You know, we didn't have like huge house payments with boats and cars and crazy stuff. I mean, that was one thing my wife and I always kind of agreed upon, was we were just going to live within our means.
Yeah.
You know.
But you lived a good life. You know?
Yeah, we live a good life. I mean,
you weren't thinking like, man, I hope I have food next week. You know,
no,
you were.
I mean, our house is paid for. We're debt free. You know, my son, he has a successful career. He's, you know, we were able to, you know, get him through. He's a professional hockey player, so we were able to get him through college. And then he's on his own.
Yeah, and again, that's another accomplishment for you, you know, to go under your belt. Like, hey, dude, as a dad, you know, as a father, like, hey, dude, my kid's a professional hockey player. I did something. I did all right. You know, I did. I
mean, we're lucky. It's so hard raising kids. I mean, we have one, but I mean, I'm thankful that we had the ability and the means to have a job that provided something for him, to where he was focused and he could do what he wanted to do. Yeah. And he earned it because he had the grades and he had the skills and he had the work ethic to do what he wanted to do. Yeah. You know, and I think that's, as a parent, that's all you could ask for.
Yeah. But I also think, you know, sometimes obviously we do things without thinking, and I think for you, or like from an outside perspective, you know, you're also going down that you're passing over to your next generation what you've built and what you know, what the discipline that you've built for yourself. Yeah. You know, and like, hey, this is you want something, you gotta work for it. Yeah. You know, you gotta earn it.
You gotta earn it.
It's not gonna be given to you. And that's something that, you know, like I try to do with my kids. You know, they're little, but I try to, hey, you know,
that's when it starts.
You want something, you gotta work for it. Yeah. You know, even if it's something small. Yeah. You know, but you're just not gonna get it just because we can, or we can give it to you.
Yeah, for sure.
That's not the way.
For sure.
You know, that's you know, that's the shit we're talking about. These people, it's not gonna be you. You know.
Well, it's the parents. I mean, when it all comes down to the way this generation is, I mean, if they're good, you know, then it's great parenting. If they're bad, then they want to blame somebody else.
Yeah.
It's the parents.
Yeah.
You know, the parents are what help mold you as a young person into your career path and how you're going to succeed or not succeed in life. Yeah. I mean, you got to be a good role model as a parent.
Yeah. And definitely. And people, that is definitely one of the, I call it an excuse because that's really what it is.
Right.
You know, people use that as an excuse of like, hey, like I you know, well, my parents, you know, they're low middle class, or we've struggled, and or, you know, like, oh, I live, you know, I'm from the hood. Like, dude, you know how many, you know, millionaire football players came from the hood?
Yeah.
You know, but they put in work. Yeah. You know, and it comes down to also a choice. Yeah. You know, what is it that you want to do? You want you know, there's always two paths. You know,
Yeah, for
the good
sure.
one and the bad one. Do you want something that's
Mm,
gonna better your life, or you want something that's, you know, not
yeah,
gonna take you nowhere in life? And that, but again, it comes back down to the parenting. You know, like for me, my parents, they didn't have a lot to offer. You know, they're obviously, you know, immigrant parents trying to, you know, make a life for themselves, trying to
right.
establish themselves here. You know, do everything the legal way, the right way, and
Yeah,
you know, it was. I want to say I had, you know, the best child. You know what? Maybe I did. You know, I didn't
yeah.
have the materialistically. Maybe I
No,
did it. You
materialistically
know,
no,
but
but
I had a, you know, my dad. You know, I worked with my dad since I was little. You know,
yeah,
put a good head on my shoulders, taught me to
yeah,
work hard, and you know, never rely on anything. You know, even this job. Like I tell my wife all the time, hey, what happens if I lose my job? You
yeah,
know, think times are crazy
yeah.
nowadays. You
Times
know,
are
and
crazy.
it's like, what am I gonna do? And it's like, dude, I could survive. And then I'm humble enough to be like, dude, I'll go work construction. I'll go
Yeah,
work anywhere. You know what I mean? Like I have that already. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh man, I wish I would get my job back. You know, it's just, but that's something that comes with, you know, what we were talking earlier.
yeah, for sure.
But
No,
yeah,
I think, I mean, your upbringing, and it's what you make of it, right? I mean, yeah, fortunate to have. I mean, we didn't have a lot of money growing up, but we always had food on the table, a roof over our head, and my dad worked hard. And I mean, I remember working two jobs, you
yeah,
know, and I mean, it sucked,
yeah,
but you had to do it. I mean, to experience that. I mean, yeah, I mean, these people, they just, I don't understand why they just don't want to work and they just want a handout. It's not like that. You know, you work for what you have. You know, not you don't get what they give you just because you're entitled to have
yeah,
it. Yeah,
for sure.
it's not.
It doesn't work like that. You
No.
know, and I think that we're just so, or at least now times have changed so much, and things are so far gone from, you know, what they used to be.
Yeah.
But it does, again, just a lot of the social media stuff. You know, people believe everything they see, and you know, it's just very
Yeah.
different
I mean,
times.
social media could be. I mean, it's a good tool for and it's entertainment. You know, so you have to take it for what it is. I mean, it could be a good tool to learn something, but then it's also entertainment, and it's not the way to get ahead
Yeah,
and to um, to get the good things that you want to get out of life.
yeah,
You know,
for sure. Yeah, then
so
the moral of the story: put in some work, put in some
put
work.
in some
You
hard
know,
work
yeah.
and take care of your body, take care of your mind, take care of your family. You know,
What are you know, to finish off? What are what would you think, or any you know, good advice that you may have for, you know, these new guys coming in, or new guys, or you know, trying to get hired with the fire
yeah,
department,
I
or
think just use your real life experiences, like in an interview. Be animated in that way. They hear all the answers of, well, why do you want to be a fireman, and you know,
the
those
typical, well,
the
I want to serve
typical,
my
yeah, I want to
community.
serve my
Yeah,
community, that kind of thing. Well, share life experience. You know, well, the fire department came to my house when I was little, and you know, or my whole thing was, I remember I would use this a lot, was I worked at Trader Joe's.
yeah,
So customer service at Trader Joe's, it's pretty much the same, but I mean, it may be a little bit more customer service oriented back then, because we'd have to call out the prices and we'd actually talk to customers,
yeah,
and we'd share our experiences about what products they had, wine, food, whatever we tasted it, you know, we would always meet the needs of the customer, you
yeah,
know, and that's pretty much what the fire department is. You're there to meet the needs of that customer.
yeah,
So I think if you can come in with some customer service type experience and be able to channel that in some kind of unique way. I mean, it could be anything customer service. I mean, I remember this kid during an interview, he worked at like a feed store, you
yeah,
know, and he talked about all the great things that he was able to do to help people, you know, when they came in for whatever livestock or pet that they had, you know. And I thought that was pretty unique, because the next guy, all he did was talk about working on the ambulance.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He didn't have that, even though he had what we were doing now, but he didn't have that other component, of dealing with somebody and communicating with them one on one, which is what you do on a daily basis in your job.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't just drive the ambulance and then get to the hospital and then start playing Angry Birds on your phone.
You're not a taxi.
Yeah. So I think if you could just bring out like have real life experiences and share them in an animated way to where you see the people that are interviewing you kind of look up and listen.
Yeah.
I mean, not that they're not listening and writing down, but to actually make that eye contact and listen intently, then you made that connection and you're going to have that better chance of getting that job.
Yeah. And something like, again, just like I said earlier, hearing you talk and now, it brings me little flashbacks and things, for me, like I said, me and my best friend, we started everything together, in the fire department, going to EMT school together, doing the fire stuff together. And, obviously he became a firefighter. I went the law enforcement route, but he ended up getting hired, as a firefighter a little bit further down the line. And I remember being 18 years old, 19 years old, applying to the fire department.
Yeah.
And same thing, now that I hear you speak and now that I hear you talking from like a person that is conducting the interview, that was one of the biggest things that they said. Like, dude, you have no life experience. Yeah, you have, and I mean, I did. And I feel like I did. I had a lot of, I had a lot of work experience. I had I've been working since I was like 12 years old. See, but I made the mistake of that. Like, hey, well, let me try to give them the cookie cut answer that I think they're looking for.
No cookie cutter answers. The better uncookie cutter answer you can have, the more success you're going to have in an interview.
And I think you see it, from, like I said, from the other side of the table.
Yeah.
Like, all right, this guy is real. This guy's legit. He gets the gist of what we're doing, what we're looking for.
Right, for sure. And I think just being able to communicate with people, and that's what your interview is. You're being able to communicate what you did to prepare yourself and why you want to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can't, actively communicate that part of it, then you have no business being there.
Yeah, for sure.
You're wasting everybody's time. I mean, I remember this one interview, this guy, I felt, you feel bad for people because you're nervous. You go in the interview. I've been there. It's intimidating, but and you forget things. And I remember this one candidate came in the interview. He was cussing, like he forgot, like
forgot where he was at.
He said, "Oh, I fucking don't know." That's what he said. And I'm like, he really just said that. He was nervous. He didn't know, and he wasn't going to try and sugarcoat it. So he just said, "Okay."
Yeah, but again, it comes back with a little bit of, hey, dude, you should have prepared a little bit better. I get that you don't know, but hey, try to give us something, and that's funny. But hey, I guess you got some reality. But with that being said, I like I said, what that happened to me, that they're like, oh, well, you don't have the the experience we're looking for, whatever. I was like, oh, whatever. Like, these guys are not gonna apply here again. I took it to heart, but said now hearing you talk about it in a different perspective, it's like, oh, okay, it makes sense now. Obviously, I'm also a lot more mature now.
If you think, if you think about these professional athletes, because realistically, when it comes down to it, you're kind of a professional athlete as a first responder. You got to be sharp mentally, you got to be sharp physically. And you listen to these guys, they fail before they succeed. If you watch that Michael Jordan documentary, all the times he failed, or Wayne Gretzky, or any of these guys, or that put in the hard work. You have to put in the hard work you have to fail before you're going to succeed.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's going to take, I remember my son, people telling him, oh, you're never going to play in the NHL, you're never going to play in the NHL, you're never going to make it. And he made it.
Yeah. And it's always the people that are not doing it.
Yeah.
That talk the most shit.
Yeah, that talk the most shit.
It's like, oh yeah,
so it's like,
you're never going to do it. Yeah, motherfucker, put some, put the uniform on, come out here and do it.
Right.
And tell me if it's not that easy as you think it is,
and if you're good, they're going to find you.
Yeah, for sure.
For him. That's what happened. But, he did the hard work though.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't do it. I just allowed the means for him to get there because he had good grades, he had the ability, and yeah. So you have to put in the hard work. Whatever you do, whether it's whatever type of job you do, it's like there are no shortcuts. I mean, thankfully, I could say this. I mean, I'm retired. I retired at 55. You know, I mean, who's this? Who else can say if you're not working in that type of environment can say that they're going to retire at 55 and they have no debt?